We're going to get going here. I have Coach Chris with me today. He's over in the office next to me. He's going to keep an eye on the chat today. So I'll keep the chat pulled up on my screen too. But Chris is going to monitor questions so that while I'm going through our PowerPoint with our signs today, Chris will be able to answer questions on the fly. So if you have anything, don't hesitate to ask him. If you're having trouble seeing me give signs once we get to that point, let Chris know. We'll go back at the end and we will repeat them just so everyone gets a chance to see it. But for right now, I'm going to switch over to our PowerPoint and we'll get this thing going. All right. So we're going to do things just slightly differently. So even guys that are returning, make sure you're paying attention because we're going to add a couple things this year that's going to be a little bit different. Nothing crazy, but we're just going to add a couple things and make sure we simplify to make sure everyone has an easy time with it. For our new guys, we use an indicator system. A little lean here. We use an indicator system, meaning that the bill of our hat is going to signify that the next sign is our live sign, okay? That doesn't mean that the sign that comes after the indicator is always going to be a real sign, but when we get into the next couple slides, we understand what those signs are. It will always has to come immediately after the bill of the cap, all right? The way I hit my indicator is I go two hands. But this is going to be how each one of your coaches feels comfortable giving the signs. The indicator will be the bill of the cap. They might swipe it, they might pull it, they might hit it like I do. However they do it, you guys will work that out with your coaches in practice. But it will always be the bill of the cap. The only time that would change is if we feel mid-game we need to change our indicator. We'll never change our signs. We'll just change our indicator. That's why we do it this way. Okay. Again, the sign has to immediately follow the bill of the cap for it to be live, okay? I could give a sign halfway through a sign series and never touch the indicator. That does not mean the sign is on. Wave my hands. It does not mean it is on. It has to immediately follow the indicator, okay? Can't stress that enough. That's why we use an indicator system, okay? We're going to break our signs into two series, bunts and steals. Everything is going to fall under those two categories. All right, we're going to start with our simple sacrifice bunt, okay, and that's the indicator immediately followed by our belt. Okay, easy to remember. Belt is for bunt. Okay, for you guys in this group, we didn't do this with the younger teams. If we give you guys a sacrifice bunt with a runner on third base, that is a safety squeeze. Okay, the difference between a safety squeeze and a suicide squeeze, the only difference is that the runner from third doesn't break on the pitch with a safety squeeze. Okay, we're getting the bunt down, he scores, it's like a sacrifice bunt. Okay, and that is indicator direct to the belt. Okay, and I'll show you guys that when I flip the camera and stand up. The suicide squeeze, okay, where the runner breaks on the pitcher's delivery, okay, and we have to get that bunt down, that's going to be indicator, belt, immediately swiping down both arms. And I'll show you guys when we get there, okay? Again, suicide squeeze, indicator, belt, immediately swiping both arms, all right? For you guys that are speed guys and we're going to have you bunt for a hit, okay, or even just a situation comes up where it's a good time where the third baseman might be back to bunt for a hit, all right? That's going to be really simple. Indicator, belt, immediately back to the indicator. Okay, guys? When you'll see this, and it'll be really easy to remember when we switch over to the steal one, okay? That second level of signs where we go to the arms, there will be one of those for steal as well. And when we go back to the indicator, there will be one of those for steal as well. So it's a system. Okay? You're not going to have to remember a ton of different signs. You're just going to have to know the basic, either bunt and then what happens, or steal and then what happens. That's how we're going to simplify it this year and make it easy. So we'll have 6 different scenarios, all in just knowing 2 different signs. Okay, so again, sacrifice bunt, indicator to the belt, suicide squeeze, indicator, belt, both arms, Bunt for a hit, indicator, belt, back to indicator. All right. Switch you guys over to the next slide. Chris, can you see everything well on your screen? Cool. All right, now steal. All right, indicator, same thing. It will be indicator, swipe of the chest. All right, so easy to remember. Swipe of the chest is steal. It will always be steal. Swipe of the chest. Just to give you guys a little background, these have been the same size we have used since the Indians started when we had youth teams 12 years ago. Never had an issue with it. Okay, these are as easy as we can make them for you guys. All right, so again, indicator, swipe of the chest is steal. That's our straight steal. Nothing crazy there. All right, we've been working on delayed steal in practice. Okay, delayed steal, indicator, steal, swipe of the arms. And that's where that comes back into play, so that's easy for us to remember. All right, so again, delayed steal, indicator, steal sign, swipe both arms. Immediately, those three signs in a row. Always has to be consecutive. All right, if you go, if the coach goes indicator, steal, decoy, decoy, then swipes his arms, not a delay steal, just a straight steal. It all has to be immediately following one another in consecutive order. Okay? For a hit and run, we're going to ditch last year's sign on the hit and run. We're just going to put it into this steal family. So it'll be indicator, swipe of the chest, immediately back to the indicator. Just like we had on the last one for a bunt for a hit, we're just going to make sure hit and run, steal sign, right back to the indicator. Okay, so if we, as long as we know that indicator, steal, or indicator, bunt, and then followed by either swipe of the arms or back to indicator, we know all of our signs. That's all it is. It's that simple. Okay? So to run through it one last time, straight steal, indicator, chest, delayed steal, indicator, chest, arms, hit and run, indicator, chest, indicator. Okay, guys, I know as I'm talking through it and sitting in the classroom, it probably seems like it's going to be a little tricky. I promise it will not. Coaches are not trying to trick you. We're not even honestly trying to trick the other team. We're just trying not to hand them the information. Okay, so we're not going to be flying through signs trying to make it hard on you guys. We're going to make it as easy as we can. I know Coach Chris's team, some guys had troubles with signs last year. Okay, we want to make it so you don't have trouble with signs. So if you ever have a question, ask the coach to repeat it, whether you're the runner or you're the hitter. You do this, the coach is going to repeat his sign series. If you're not sure, even after he goes through it another set, ask the umpire for time. If you're at first base, ask the first base coach. If you're the hitter, go ask the third base coach what he gave you. Okay, rather slow the game down and know for sure so we don't miss an opportunity than, well, I don't think that was anything. I'm just going to take it upon myself not to do what the coach says. Okay, guys, that doesn't work. Okay, at this level, and especially getting ready for high school, if the coach puts something on, he's putting it on for a reason. If he wants that runner at first to steal second base because maybe the catcher is slow to get the ball to second base, the pitcher is slow to the plate, okay, they're letting you take a big lead, you might be the tying run and we need you in scoring position, okay, there's no excuse to miss a steal sign when your coach gives you the steal sign, okay? It's not just, well, I don't feel like going. Okay, he's doing it for the best and for what's best for the team. You cannot miss it. If he wants you to go, there's a reason he wants you to go. Okay, missing signs is not okay anymore. Okay, you have all the opportunity in the world to study the signs, to make sure you know them, and then in the game to ask for help with them. There's no excuse to miss them. All right, going to move on to our take sign and our swing away sign. Okay, guys, these do not need an indicator, and they will always come after the sign series. Okay, so coach goes through his signs. He wants you to take. He's going to point into foul territory. There's no indicator. He's just going to finish the signs by pointing into foul territory. That means you are taking that pitch no matter what. No excuse to swing. You take no matter what. Okay? That could be a scenario in a game where the pitcher's having trouble throwing strikes. We need to make sure that we see a pitch. The coach sends the runner, and we know he's going to have a good jump, so we want to make sure he steals the base without fouling a ball off or ruining that play for the runner. Okay, so if your coach gives you the take sign, points into foul territory, okay, you take it, actively take that pitch, watch it in the catcher's glove, but you are not swinging. Okay? On the flip side of that, coach goes through his sign series and points into fair territory. That means you have the green light to swing. Doesn't mean you have to swing. It means you are allowed to swing. Okay? The most common time for that is in a 3-0 count. A count we would normally take. Okay, that coach might see something. You might be hot that day. He wants to make sure you're gripping and ripping, going big on a swing on a 3-0 pitch right down the middle. If you get a good pitch, you are allowed to swing. Does not mean you have to. It's not like a hit and run. Okay. Another time we might do this is if we're in a +1 situation, which means we're taking until we get a strike at the end of a game. But now we have the tying run or the winning run on base, and the coach wants to take off that +1. Okay. Now he gives you have the green light. You can go ahead and swing if you get a pitch to do it. Right. That's where that communication is key. Without him saying, "Okay, go ahead and swing," we want to let you know that you have the ability to swing without telling the other team. Okay. So again, these two, the take sign and the green light sign, those are given after the signs. So you have to make sure if you're in the box, you don't look away in the middle of the sign series just because the coach gave something else. If he gave the runner a steal sign and you look away and don't see that he gave you a take sign and you foul ball off and we don't get to steal second base there, that's on you. Okay? So you need to make sure as a hitter, if you're looking for signs, you wait until the coach is completely done before you get back into the box. Okay? The last one on that slide. These signs are only for the very next pitch. If you get a take sign, that doesn't mean you're taking the rest of the at-bat. If he gives it to you again on the next pitch, then you continue to take. Same thing with the green light. If you get a green light sign and he doesn't give it to you on the next one, doesn't mean you have the green light. Okay? It's only for that particular pitch. All right? The last slide talks about some of our general offensive philosophies. All right? A hitter's count, number one, we need to know what a hitter's count is. A hitter's count is anytime that we are in 3-1 or 2-0 or even 3-0. Okay, and that's where the green light comes into play. A lot of people believe that you're going to take automatically no matter what on a 3-0 count. I don't believe in that. Okay? If you got a guy swinging the bat well, he's squaring up a lot of baseballs, that's probably going to be the best pitch anyone sees all day is a 3-0 count fastball right down the middle. I don't believe we have to take that. If we've got runners on second, third, and we're going to get a fastball right down the middle, we're going to do something with it. So let's make sure that when we're in those hitters' counts, we're ready to go. Okay, as you guys are getting older, it's important you understand that in that count, when you're in the driver's seat, when you're way ahead of the pitcher, okay, we're looking to do damage. All right, we're not just looking to put a ball in play. It's not okay for me to just roll over a ground ball to the shortstop in a hitter's count. That shouldn't be my approach. My approach should be I'm looking for a specific pitch that I hit well, and I'm looking to hit it as hard as I can. Okay, we're looking for hard contact. All right, not necessarily I'm going to hit a ball as high and as far as I can, and it's going to be a home run. Okay, I'm just looking for good, hard contact. Not a wasted swing on a bad pitch that I roll over and waste my at-bat. Okay, you are in the driver's seat. You're going to make the most of it. Okay. On the flip side, our two-strike approach. Okay, our two-strike approach is defensive. Okay, the last thing we want as a program is guys going down looking. Okay, it's an unproductive at-bat. All right, I would rather you go down swinging and fighting than go down looking. All right, it is a unwritten rule in baseball. Okay, it is a cardinal baseball sin to go down looking with less than 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Okay, when you're in high school and college, you go down looking with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs. That is a very easy way to get yourself taken out of the lineup. All right. So when we have, especially when we have runners on scoring position, we need to make sure we put the ball in play. Okay. Obviously, we would like to do something a little bit, earlier in a count before we get to 2 strikes. All right. But let's make sure in a 2-strike approach, we do whatever we can to put the ball in play. Do not make it easy on the pitcher. We're working hard to barrel the ball there. All right. When it comes to base running, we want to be really aggressive on the bases. All right, guys. To me, a good base runner is someone that's able to read and think for themselves before the coach makes a decision. Okay. So when we're running, we need to be able to do 2 things. First and foremost, pick up the baseball. And secondly, pick up your coach early. Okay, so we need to run with our head up, not our head down, because we need to be aware as a runner. You guys can make a decision faster than your coach can tell you what to do. Okay, so I'm okay with you guys. Sorry, something popped up on my screen. I'm okay with you guys making an aggressive mistake as long as it's in a situation where it's okay to do that. Okay, if we're in a tight game, that one run means something. All right, maybe we let the coach make the call there. All right, but in a normal game situation, if you guys are going to make a mistake, let's make an aggressive one, not one where we hesitate. Okay. Um, in order to do that, you have to make sure that when you leave a base or when you get out of the box, you are immediately thinking multiple bases. Okay, if I take my secondary at first base and there's a base hit to the outfield, and I just take a casual secondary and I decide a couple steps before second base that I'm going to go to third base, I'm probably not going to get to third base. Okay, that mindset has to start as soon as you land your secondary. My initial thought is I'm going to third base unless my coach stops me. Okay, it's much easier to make that adjustment right out of the gate, going as hard as I can so that I can get to third base, because I'm not going to be able to turn the gas on halfway there. Okay, I've already lost too much time. So whether we're on second base trying to score on a base hit, or we're on first base trying to go first to third, we have to have the right mindset of I'm going hard right away so that I make sure that I'm able to get there if that's where I end up, not having to speed up halfway, because that is never going to work. Okay, I underlined it at the very bottom. As a runner on first base, our goal is always to go first to third. Okay, good teams do that. Good programs are really good at doing that. If you watch college baseball, you'll notice the better teams consistently go first to third, because that puts a ton of pressure on the defense and it keeps more runners in scoring position closer to the plate. All right, so when we get on first base, we always have to have the thought, any base hit to the outfield, I'm going to third base unless my coach holds me up. All right, we'll practice that once we get outside, but it's just as much mental as it is physical. So let's make sure that we start to think that way to make it easier on ourselves once we actually get onto the field, and there's that moment of competition where instead of thinking about it, we do it naturally. All right. Give me 1 second to flip some stuff around.